Developing right now, more than 20 people won't be sleeping in their own beds tonight after an apartment fire in South Abilene. It started about 3:45 this morning at the Maison Blanche Apartments.
And KTEX reporter Daniela Ibarra has been following this story since early this morning. She joins us now live from 27th Street and Buffalo Gap Road.
Hey, Will and Veronica. Well, we just saw several firefighters head in and check in on a lot of these apartment complexes, and they're just making sure that nothing is smoldering inside and nothing reignites overnight. And firefighters still aren't sure what caused the fire or how it started. And that fire began this morning here at the apartment complex at 3:45. Neighbors told us the sounds of people yelling and screaming actually woke them up. 6 engines, 2 ladder trucks, and dozens of firefighters worked for 6 hours to put out the flames. Several neighbors told us people banging and knocking down their doors actually helped save their lives.
I just thank the Lord for waking us up, getting us out. You know, I mean, looking at it, it's crazy because you never think it'll happen to you, but it can, and it has.
And all the smoke and flames caused about $325,000 of damage, and KTEX reporter H.A. Gersh is out here on the scene, and he's here to talk about some of the heroes that helped save lives this morning.
That's right, Daniela. Crisis certainly averted here this morning thanks to good neighbors and diligent and cohesive work of law enforcement. On Sales Boulevard, a police officer saw the fire and quickly sprung into action.
I had heard somebody screaming for help.
Veronica Nunez woke up to the sound of yelling and panic. But as a fire broke out early Wednesday morning, many people at the Maison Blanche apartment building remained in danger, fast asleep.
I was going out to my neighbors' doors and knocking on their doors, letting them know, there's a fire, just in case we need to evacuate. They're awake and, not so shocked and don't know what to do.
Neighbors taking early action, but so were police. One officer on the midnight patrol was one of the first to notice the fire.
An Abilene police officer was on routine patrol when he noticed flames emitting from the top of one of the buildings at the Maison Blanche apartment complex.
And alongside a second officer, the two called for backup and quickly stepped into action.
And together they started knocking on doors and alerting the residents.
And while the fire department was still on the way, the two officers led an evacuation, helping save countless lives.
Absolutely, the officers that were there were heroes, as well as the fire department. I mean, kicking in doors, going in, putting yourself in danger is a very heroic act.
Although 12 homes left smoky and burnt, Nunez is just glad no one got hurt.
I just hope pets and people are fine, and I'm just glad my family's fine as well.
And APD did note that thanks to the help of their officers working together with the Abilene Fire Department, they were able to safely evacuate everyone in danger. But thanks to the community, those who are left without a home tonight have restored faith. And that's where we're going to send it to KTEX reporter Courtney Brown back in the studio.
This morning's fire showing how the city's resources all came together when a disaster strikes. After a fire broke out at the Maison Blanche apartment complex, the only question in people's minds was, what's next?
At first, we didn't know what to do or where to go or who to talk to, and then the police started coming to us.
First responders weren't the only ones called for backup. Emergency Management Coordinator Vincent Cantu also arrived to help. He started by making calls to other departments like CityLink.
To get a few buses out there for not only the firemen to get some respite in the cold and rain. We got some transportation for the folks that would have needed to get some more sheltering.
The city opened the G.V. Daniels Recreation Center for the American Red Cross to set up.
Make sure that we do everything that we can to make sure that those folks get the resources that they need and the type of care that we would want for any of our family members.
Animal Services provided some kennels for people's pets.
Thankful for all the firefighters, all the police, the volunteers, the American Red Cross, and all of y'all that supported us.
People, even at this hour, are still inside that shelter trying to figure out what's next and how to get back on their feet. Will and Veronica, back to you guys.
They definitely deserve some recognition, those first responders today.
A lot of people coming together to help out.
They sure are. And thank you, Courtney. And in addition to providing those people with shelter at this hour, the American Red Cross was at hand, or on hand rather, this morning to help comfort those people. Volunteers were on site to pass out comfort and cleanup kits to people living in those apartments.
Once people were allowed back in, the Red Cross gave them bags to gather their belongings. Storage space also being provided for them to keep their things. Glad no one was hurt, and it looks like they hopefully are getting the help they need tonight.
Yes.